Alright, boys, let's get it. Let's get this shit going. What's up? It's another day, another week. Welcome to the episode of TomTalks. Let's recap week 2 real quick. Thursday night game was Chiefs and Chargers, 27-24. Chargers dominated the first half, and my guy, Justin Herbert, I say he's my guy because he's on my fantasy team. He threw a pick six and got hit in the ribs. He has at least one broken rib. No, not broken. It's fractured, I believe. So he's questionable, and I need him to play. Otherwise, I think my team is fucked. But yeah. Chiefs. They stood their ground. They won 27-24. This game, I didn't expect this game to be a shootout at all. Ravens dominated most of the game, and then they let Miami come back. And I believe I picked the Dolphins to win. So, but yeah, dude, Tua is a guy now in that offense. We all knew Tyreek would have a big impact, but having a game like that, him and Jalen Waddle both going off like that, that's awesome. That's awesome for them. Dolphins are now 2-0. Ravens are 1-1 barely. No one saw the Jets winning this game. Holy shit, what a game. They recovered the onside kick, and then Joe Flacco threw 3 touchdowns to the rookie receiver, Garrett Wilson. Fun fact, I had him on my fantasy team, but I benched his ass because I did not think he'd be doing that well. And that pisses me off to no end, because I could have scored so many more points. I barely won my second game, but yeah, it is what it is. So Cleveland does not look good. Well, it's not that they don't look good. They didn't look good in that second half. The defense is a problem for them. Lions won in a shootout. Well, I think Detroit. I really didn't catch a lot of it, but I think they dominated most of the game. Yeah, they dominated most of the game, and Aiden Hutchinson had 3 sacks, I believe. So Detroit they're looking like a pretty good football team, and it's actually kind of surprising what Dan Campbell's been able to do. Yeah, they were 3-13-1 last year, but this might be the year that they might. I'm not saying they will, but I know it's very early, but they actually might make the playoffs, which would be crazy to think. Detroit haven't been in the playoffs since 2016, but yeah, so we got to keep our eye on Detroit. We got to keep our eyes on Amon-Ra St. Brown. That dude's a fucking monster. He's had crazy production this year. He's up there in production-wise with Cooper Kupp. So, yeah, he's a fucking monster. So is DeAndre Swift. Those two are basically the Cadillacs of the offense. And now, to a game where I think no one expected this score to happen, Jacksonville shutting out Indianapolis. I did pick the Jags to upset the Colts, but I thought it'd be a closer game than this. Indianapolis is not playing they're not playing good football at all. Their offensive line can't protect. A lot of people are hurt. Matt Ryan's making a lot of mistakes in the offense. I think Frank Reich might be starting to get on the hot seat. I know it's early, but still, it's pretty crazy. No one expected the Colts to go 0-1-1. A lot of people had the Colts winning this division very early on in the offseason. Titans downgraded. The Jags and both Jags and Texans are rebuilding. So the Colts, I think a lot of people thought the Colts would just run away with this division. They think they got better. Matt Ryan said Carson Wentz, and now it seems like Carson Wentz wasn't the only problem. It seems like he was only the scapegoat in Indianapolis. I'm not saying he wasn't blameless. He did lose those last 2 games when they only need to win 1 to get in the playoffs. But hey, just like I've said before, I've defended Carson through a lot of things, especially his time in Philadelphia. I can admit partially I was wrong about Philadelphia, because there are other news articles that came out about some of his behavior while he was last year in Philadelphia 2020. That year was the whole mess. But yeah, anyway, so it seems like there's a lot more problems in Indianapolis than there was just Carson, because Matt Ryan is not playing well at all. And out of the other game, another division game, the Bucks beat the Saints. I thought the Saints were going to win at home. I thought because of all the injuries to the Tampa Bay's offense, they were The offense would not do as well, but clearly I was wrong. And the Bucs defense stepped up. They got 3 picks on Jameis Winston. One of them returned to the house, and Brady threw a really nice touchdown pass to I forget. I believe it was Perriman. Yeah, he threw a touchdown pass to Perriman. But yeah, Tampa Bay, even though they were down a lot of people, they looked pretty good in this game without a lot of people. So Tampa Bay is like another team. They're really up there as like the only top contending team in the NFC as of this moment, other than couple other teams that we're going to talk about later on. Giants surprised me. I thought they were going to lose to Carolina, but they're only 2-0 because Carolina's not a good team, and Tennessee missed their field goal. So I don't think the Giants is a serious threat. The only reason I have the kicker on the team. That's the only so he helped me a lot in fantasy football. So shout out to the kicker. Other than that, they can kick rocks. They can suck a dick. They can do whatever. I don't give a fuck. Baker's not playing well. The offense isn't doing well. The line's not protecting. So yeah, the Panthers need to do a lot of. Panthers are not going to be a good team this year. So it is what it is. I thought the Steelers were going to win, but again, I was wrong. I was wrong. It seems like the Patriots have somewhat figured out their offense, and the defense did a pretty good job against them. So still a pretty big mess there, and it looks like people are already wanting Kenny Pickett to be the starter over Mitch. They'll probably give Mitch another couple of games. I don't know how long Mitch is going to last. But that'll be an interesting situation to look out for in Pittsburgh. Rams, they dominated early. They were up like 20-3. They let Atlanta come back. They made a lot of stupid mistakes to let Atlanta come back in this football game. Because, again, Atlanta doesn't look like to be a very good football team, but Mariota looks pretty well. A lot of players look pretty good. Drake London scores first touchdown. So, Atlanta, they're not going to be a good team, but they might be fun to watch. So, and the Rams, like I said, they got their asses kicked the first week, but it looks like they got their heads out of their asses somewhat, but they still made a lot of fucking mistakes, even though they won this game. The 49ers dominated Seattle. I didn't think. It sucks that Trey Lance got hurt, but they are probably a lot better with Jimmy Garoppolo in the lineup right now. Unfortunately, even though Trey's supposed to be the future, but I don't know I don't know what they're gonna do with Trey. I don't know if they're going to let Jimmy G go and let Trey start next year, but that's a whole other conversation until next year. And, Seattle doesn't look that good. Again, I don't think they'll be a good team. They got lucky on Monday night because of Denver's coaching fuck-ups. And then this game pissed me off. Again, the Bengals offensive line could not protect Joe Burrow to save their lives. The defense didn't show up to the second half. Neither did the offense. So, the Bengals are struggling right now. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati, but they are struggling. Joe Burrow's still getting hit a lot. And it looks like Cooper Rush is just doing his job. He's just filling in, trying to do whatever the hell he can. So we'll see what it looks like going forward with Cooper Rush for the next at least probably 3 to 5 weeks. Because I think they want Dak Prescott back in week 6 when the Eagles play them. When my Birds play them. Broncos beat the Texans, but I figured Broncos would because the Texans aren't a good team, but they did not look that great offensively. Again, schematically, it doesn't seem like they didn't have the ball rolling. They didn't know what they were. It's not they didn't know they were doing. They just looked very sloppy. And this Vegas Arizona game, I thought the Raiders were going to win, but the Cardinals came back. Raiders dominated the first half, but the Cardinals came back second half of the game, and they won on a Renfro fumble return for a touchdown. So, I don't know. These two teams are still up in the air. So it's good for Arizona that they won, but I think a lot of people are disappointed in Vegas. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they are right now. I mean, I know they have a weak offensive line, but you expect them to be better. You expect Derek Carr to have a better connection with Devontae Adams. Expect the offense to be more explosive. Expect the defense to be a little bit better, especially that pass rush with Crosby and Jones. But yeah, so we'll see what happens next week with them, with both these teams. Packers dominated the Bears as I thought they would. The Bears were I wouldn't say they're a one-time wonder in week 1, but they're probably not going to be a good team this year again, like some of the other teams. And Green Bay has had a recent history of getting their asses kicked in week 1 and coming back week 2, so not surprising, but it looked like a lot of players were on the injury report, either with probably nothing major, but like still, especially the wide receivers. So we'll have to look at what's going on there. And then the 2 Monday night games, Bills kicked the Titans' ass, which I thought it was going to be a lot closer. I didn't think the Bills were going to score that many points. I didn't think the Titans were going to not do anything at all on offense, because it just sucks that I like Derrick Henry a lot, but since he's the number 1 guy, it seems like all you have to do is stop him and the offense just stalls. That's just what it seems like to be the key to stopping Tennessee ever since they traded away A.J. Brown to us, which we'll get to that game in a second. And yeah, Buffalo, they are for real. They are easily the best team throughout the first 2 weeks. They upgraded at pass rush. Von Miller definitely helps with the pass rush on the defensive side of the football. They're dealing with cornerback injuries, yet they're still one of the best defensive teams in football. Wait till Tre'Davious White comes back. They're going to be much better with him back. I don't know what. Probably either late October, early November. That's what I'm thinking, is he got hurt at Thanksgiving last year. But yeah, this Bills team, they are going to make a lot of noise. They're going to do a lot of good things in this league. And now my team, the Eagles, I thought they were going to win, but I thought it'd be a lot closer. I'm not going to lie, I was a little afraid of Minnesota. They looked really good in week 1, but I shouldn't have been worried at all because Kirk Cousins sucks on prime time. He threw 3 interceptions, 2 of them to Darius Slay, which he should have had at least 4 or 5 picks. Jalen Reagor did not look good at all. He had like 1 catch. And our defense looked really good. Jonathan Gannon finally got his head out of his ass for once in his fucking life. This is easily the best game he coached defensively. And this is easily Jalen Hurts' best passing game. Yes, he did run for 2 touchdowns and he's strong as fuck. Squatting 600 pounds, he basically carried a defensive back to the end zone. But his passing was really impressive that night. His best pass was, in my opinion, was the incompletion to Goddard. I believe it was like a 2nd and 15 or something. I forget how long it was, but I believe Goddard ran a post to the left. Hurts threw it, and he was double covered. Goddard was basically double covered. He had a corner underneath of him, and then I believe a linebacker next to him, or like right near him. So he threw the ball perfectly where Goddard could catch it away above the defensive back and away from the other man who was covering him. And then the only reason he couldn't catch the ball wasn't caught is because the defender hit the ball out of Goddard's hands and was incomplete. That was a fantastic pass. His bomb to 53 yards to Quez Watkins was amazing. And yeah, just Jalen Hurts has made a lot of great decisions that night, throwing the football. Other than the 1 interception, which wasn't really his fault. That was kind of Gainwell's fault. The ball was off his hands, but other than that 1 mistake, the Eagles looked really good that night. I'm surprised how good that we look right now. I didn't think we were going to look this good this early. So speaking of that, let's move on to week 3. Tonight's game, which starts in another hour about. Steelers and Browns. This is going to be a tough one. This is a tough one to pick, but I'm going to stick with the home team. Cleveland's going to do better than... I think Cleveland's... they're even at quarterback, but everywhere else, Cleveland has a better roster, but their defense is not that good. We'll see if Pittsburgh can move on them offensively, which they probably will. It's probably a shootout of a game. I'm going to say like 30-27 Cleveland. This next game, Saints and Panthers. There's no way. Panthers don't look that good right now. Even though they lost, the 2 games they lost, they were close. They still don't look that great. Oh, excuse me. So I'm going to pick the Saints over the Panthers just because they have more talent overall. Texans and Bears. This is kind of an interesting matchup. Because even though the Texans they tied once and lost once, they look pretty decent for a rebuilding team. Both these teams are rebuilding, so this might be... I'm gonna say this is gonna be a really ugly game. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like in Chicago. I don't know if it's gonna be another rainy ass game, but we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna pick the Bears just barely. It's gonna be probably very sloppy, very ugly. Colts and Chiefs. Chiefs are at the Colts, so I'm going with Kansas City easily. I think they're going to dominate since the Colts have not been looking good at all. This is probably the best game of the weekend. Bills at Dolphins. Dolphins they look pretty solid on week 1 defensively on week 1, but week 2 obviously give a lot of points to Lamar Jackson. And this Bill offense is really explosive, so I think the Bills are going to have the advantage here. I think they're going to win this game. Now it's either going to be another fucking blowout like they did the first 2 weeks, or it's going to be close. Who really knows? But we're going to find out. But I think the Bills are going to win. I won't say easily or handedly, but I think the Bills will win. Lions at Vikings. I'm picking Detroit here. I think the Vikings might be favored this game, but I'm going with Detroit on the upset. I think they're going to have their first winning record in what seems like forever. I would say I think 2019 was the last time they had a winning record. They were like 2-0-1 to start the year that year. Yeah, they were, because they beat us at home in week 3, and that pissed me off. But whatever, yeah. These two teams are pretty even. It looks like there is a game plan how to shut down Justin Jefferson and that offense. But yeah, I'm thinking Detroit's gonna win. Ravens at Patriots. This actually seems like a really fun game. I'm gonna go with the Ravens though. I think the Ravens are better offensively. They got better players on the defensive side of the ball. I just think the Ravens are gonna dominate offensively. I don't know, at least by 10 points. Bengals at Jets. Oh boy. The Jets looked good last week. They came back and won. They couldn't beat Baltimore, but if there was a team to get off your bad schneid or whatever you want to call it, this bad luck streak of being 0-2, the Jets are that team. So I think the Bengals are going to win this game. I don't know by how much, but I think they're going to come back and they're going to win. Raiders at Titans. 2 0-2 teams. Let's see. They couldn't really stop. Both defenses aren't really that great. Honestly, this one's really more of a coin toss, but I'm going to go with the Raiders just because I like Derek Carr as a quarterback more and their offense more than I do the Titans' offense. My Eagles are at the Commanders. This is going to be a fun game. The first game that we play Carson Wentz in. Oh, that's going to be nice and loud up there. It's probably going to be a 50-50 crowd, but we looked really good on both sides of the ball. Commanders look pretty decent on both sides of the ball, but I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be a really close game, especially because it's a division game. I wouldn't be shocked if we lost, but I think we're going to win, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be a lot closer than people think. And now the first late afternoon game, Jaguars at Chargers. It all depends on Justin Herbert's health. I don't know if he's going to play this game or not. A lot of people are saying that the last report was questionable. And it sucks because I have both these quarterbacks on my team, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert on my team. I don't know if I want to start Trevor Lawrence against the Chargers defense. But I'm going to say if Justin Herbert starts, I think the Chargers are going to win. And look at this game. Rams are at the Cardinals. Rams played very sloppily. Cardinals didn't do that great of a job last week. I don't know. Both teams, all the NFC West is 1-1 right now. So whoever wins this game would give the division lead. Jesus Christ, I can't think or talk today. I trust the Rams more, but I wouldn't be shocked if Arizona won. But I'm going with the Rams this week, week 3. Falcons are at Seahawks. I don't know. I'm gonna go. It's hard to play in Seattle. That's probably another reason why they won. They won at home. Falcons look really good. They look pretty good for what they did last week. They couldn't get it going in the first half though. But yeah, I'm going with Atlanta on the upset here. I'm gonna go with Atlanta over Seattle in this upset. Next week's Green Bay at Tampa Bay. I think the Bucs are going to go 3-0. Even though they don't have Mike Evans this game, I trust their defense way more than the Packers' offense, which has been pretty lacking. The Sunday night game is San Francisco at Denver. the 49ers look like a better team right now, but I think Denver finds a way to get it together. I think the Denver Broncos win this game at home. And Giants and the Cowboys are at the Giants Monday night. I don't trust New York that they're 2-0. They barely won both games. And yes, Saquon looks good again, but as much I don't want to pick I really don't want to pick the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. I really don't. But I don't want to see the New York Giants go 3-0. So I don't trust the Giants defense. I don't trust the Cowboys offense. So Cooper Rush is probably just going to do his thing, do his job. They're probably going to win by a last-second field goal again. So I think the Cowboys are barely going to beat the Giants because, again, I don't trust the New York Football Giants. I know the Dallas Cowboys don't look really. They look better than I expected against the Cincinnati Bengals, but again, it hurts me to pick Dallas over New York, but without the bias, I think the Cowboys will beat the Giants. And that's it for this week. That's all I have for this week. Make sure you subscribe, you hit that like button, comment down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're Spotify, give it a thumbs up. I don't remember what the system is on it for Spotify, but I don't know. Like it, vote it, subscribe to it. I forget what it's like on Spotify, but anyway, make sure you hit that heart button. Make sure you listen every week. And like I said, I want to do more stuff. It's just a lot of things are going on in my family right now. A lot of personal matters are going on right now. I want to make more time to do more podcast episodes. And more importantly, I have to find a new editing program. I don't want to pay for one, but it is what it is at this point. So we'll see what we got to do. So with that being said, peace out.